Okay, so we're going to start with the heat transfer vinyl, and this is just one I use. That's one of my favorites. It's one that changes colors. It changes from blue to purple. I will be using a few heat transfer vinyls, two to be exact, but I'm just showing this one because I think it's cool. So you're going to have to go into your Cricut design space, and then I would go to my stuff. I already have it set up, but it would go to SVGs and oop, basically this is my design. Well, one of them. I like to do a few. So I have this one, and then I have this one. So basically, what you want to do, since the designs are smaller than the standard size for the Cricut, which is I believe 12 by 12. You want to utilize as much of that as you can. So that's why my designs are kind of like all over the place, because I was trying to fit as many as I could on one page. So that's what I usually like to do. I like to pre-cut them so that way once I get an order, they're already cut and all I have to do is weed them. And this way you save on paper as well. So instead of just doing like one, you can do multiples and utilize as much space on the 12 by 12 and be ready for whenever you get an order. So you don't have to do this every time you get an order. So it would just be make. And as you can see, so for heat transfer vinyl, you would have to click on mirror. But this is what it looks like on the sheet. So again, utilizing as much space as you can. So once you hit continue, you want to make sure that on the dial on your Cricut machine that you have it set to iron on. So this is what it should look like on your screen. And it's just warning you that when you use this for heat transfer vinyl, you would have to change it to mirror, which would be here. So we already had it set to mirror. Just make sure that's checked on. And then, yeah, I'm going to show you how to load it into your Cricut. As it says, the shiny side must be down. Okay, so I'm just turning on my Cricut now. And since this Cricut is kind of old, I have to manually open the top one. But that's okay because it still works. You want to make sure that the shiny side is face down, so it should look matte just like this. Now we're just going to load it into the Cricut. Now we're just going to let the Cricut do its thing. I always like to double check that it cut it properly. Okay, so now we have to remove the vinyl from the sticky sheet, and you want to do this carefully. Basically, you want to pull on the vinyl very slowly and press it against your flat surface, and at the same time you want to be pulling the sticky sheet away from the vinyl sheet. And the key is to be slow so you don't accidentally tear anything. So this is what it looks like on the other side. And now what we want to do is cut out all the designs. A tip I have for you guys is while you're cutting these out, you can set your Cricut to cut another sheet, which is the noise you're hearing in the background. So once I have all the designs cut out, I like to put them in this envelope that I just label as the color of the vinyl. So you might be wondering why I have these scraps, and I like to save the excess paper, I guess you can say, for custom orders. So if people want to add their initials or if they want to add their name, I have these extra scraps that I can use so I don't have to go and waste vinyl paper. This is the other color vinyl I will be working with today. And again, I saved all of the designs in this envelope, and this is just what it looks like. Okay, so next step is to weed out the design. I'm just going to speed this up because it does take a while to weed out all those small details. These are the journals I like to use. They are fake leather. I personally like to use the black ones. You're going to want to set your heat press to 285 for temperature and 20 seconds. You're going to need a heat resistant mat such as the one I'm showing you here. You can either get it through Cricut or from the shop that I got it from. I will link it down below. And you will also need this heat resistant sheet mat. I don't know what to call it. You're going to want to preheat the surface you are working on. So I just like to pass the heat press a few times. Now you want to carefully put your design on the journal and make sure it is straight. I like to press it down a little bit. Now once you push start on your heat press, you want to apply as much pressure as you can. To make sure the design stays on your journal, I just like to run the heat press a few times. Now you want to use this tool that I can't remember the name of currently, but it should come with your Cricut tools set. And you just want to scrape it against the design to make sure it adheres to the journal. Now I'm going to make the rose gold version, and I'm just checking to make sure the journal is upright. I'm just going to fast forward through this since you already know the steps. So while I was working on the other journal, I let this rest, and now we can remove the plastic sheet. And this is what the final product looks like. Now we're going to do the same for the rose gold version. I'm just making sure there's no air bubbles. And I like to use this tool to lift it up so I can have something to work with. And that is how you make heat transfer vinyl journals. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know if you like this style of video in the comments.